I would just do it on this computer. So right now, it is recording.
Yeah.
It should be right there. That's a little sign.
Okay.
So everything on the screen is being recorded. Your audio is being recorded, and any audio played through the computer is being recorded all at the same time.
Now, can I move this top part?
You can't. That is the biggest downside.
Because I got to be able to view this.
Click it right down here.
Right here?
The one.
Oh
right,
yeah, slideshow.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the biggest downside.
Okay.
But
all I
you can
needed.
also move. You can move the camera with controls. I don't know if you want
I
to
don't,
or need to. Or
no, I don't need to.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Other than that, you're
okay.
And then you also said that if someone asks a question, you have to repeat it.
Oh, I do.
Because then
Yes.
people will not be able to hear what the question was.
Yeah.
Okay.
She has it on. Yeah. Because the only audio we're putting more microphones in. But yeah. Right now, that's the only source of audio. So if a student asks a question, that will pick it up. So it's better for you to repeat the question.
Repeat it.
It's
So everybody else on virtual land.
I didn't know I was going to be virtual land.
Sorry, that was.
That's okay.
And then the final thing to know is when you're done, you will just go up here and you'll hit end meeting.
Okay.
And then you'll hit end meeting again, and it's gonna pop up, and it's gonna start actually saving the video.
Okay.
For 3 hours, that's gonna take a long time. So just leave it on, leave it overnight, and then either myself or Glenn or somebody can.
I just end meeting. You guys will turn everything
Yeah,
up.
and then we can post it, or I can get it to Glenn. We can do everything behind the scenes.
Okay.
At that point. So.
Okay.
It should be good.
Oh, we're up to 3. Almost feel overcrowded here.
Well, we're going to share this with all the online
Oh, great.
students, so.
Okay. Oh, yep, there we go.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay,
I think we're good to go, Matt.
Okay, I think they're ready, so I will hand it over to Lisa. She will be your instructor tonight. I'm going to kind of be in and out, working on the food and location and all that stuff. But if you need something, let me know.
Okay.
They're all yours.
Okay. Well, my name is Lisa Cotter. I teach over at Lexington, 7th grade science, and you're getting a unique perspective because I never took the Praxis, but I have tutored some former students in it, and I've collected a lot of things for you. You'll see your agenda there. That's sort of a rough agenda. And then I went ahead, the lower half of that agenda, those are some websites that I found helpful. If I was going to take this test, this is what I would do. Okay? So if anytime you guys have questions, please let me know. Okay? Yeah, just leave it with Matt. Okay? Thank you. Okay. Oops. Okay, so Matt Pittman, he's from NSEA. Matt or someone, can you tell them about the restrooms and such? Kill your ringer. Kill your ringer. Down the hall and to the left, okay. Oh, there's a packet over here. Okay, not a problem. And I do have some breaks worked in, but we're adults here. If you have to go to the bathroom or whatever, I get it. You're not quite teachers where you will have complete bladder control from when you wake up until whenever you get home. Eventually that will happen. Do you have some registration sheets, Matt? Are they filling those out? Okay, and some sort of an agreement with NISA?
Yeah.
Or NSEA, yep.
For those that just came in, again, this is a program grant that we are doing through the NEA and the NSEA. What this allows us to do is come out and give these Praxis Core instructional sessions around the state. We've done these in the Eastern Labs, here in the Central. But basically what this does, part of the grant agreement that we had to make was that we have to record the scores that you get on these tests. I don't need you to tell us what actual score it is, just what you pass or fail. Just kind of helps us monitor how well the grant is working. This also also allows you to become eligible for a tutor as well. You're eligible for 5 hours of free tutoring, which we will help you get set up. The other requirement of that, you have to be a SEAM member. So are you SEAM members of the Carney Association out here? If you're not, there's a postcard in there that kind of talks a little bit about what SEAM is. It's the Student Education Association. And I can answer some more questions about that as we go on here. If you flip it over on the back, it tells you how much that is. Those are actually reimbursable dues. When you become a full-time member, when you get a teaching job, you can file to have those reimbursed to you as well. I think they're like $30, I think, for a year, and then whatever the local dues are. So again, that's kind of the requirement that we have to fulfill our grant requirements at that point. So, any questions on any of those for those that just came in? And also with the tutoring, you don't need to know tonight. If you decide, you know, the summer or the fall that, hey, I took it and I need to focus on this, we'll have all your information documented, so you can just give us a call and we can set you up.
Okay. In each of your packets, you have, or you should have, a paper that looks something like this. Did you get this? Matt, did you have these?
Do I have some? Yeah.
Oh, he does have them. Okay. They weren't in your packet. Hey there. Are you here for the Praxis?
One of the advisors after some of my stuff upstairs.
Oh, not a problem. Okay. And so throughout this, we'll sort of break things up and we'll do this dice game. There's different things you can do, and even in a classroom when you become teachers, that you can do to break up things. So our first roll of the dice. Oh dear. Because I want to continue.
I don't want to.
Okay, so we have a 3 is our roll. So if you could eat only one food for the rest of your life, what would it be? Ice cream, what flavor? Chocolate chips, okay. And you are? Lauren, okay. So just dessert. Chinese. Anything in particular? Nope. And you are? Kaylee. So Chinese and ice cream. Pepperoni pizza.
I'm with you on that. And we don't gain weight from what we choose.
No, you don't.
Right.
And you would choose pizza as well?
Pepperoni.
Pepperoni as well? Oh, is it a, oh, there you go. You're a dipper. Okay. So that's our first roll. We'll be going through several of those. Okay, so if I was going to take the Praxis, and I had explained, maybe some of you weren't here, I've been teaching far too long to take the Praxis. When I was getting into this, I took what was called the CAT test, California Achievement Test, what they gave high school kids that wanted to get out of high school early. And so I approached it, even though I've taught, like tutored some kids doing this before. So I have some information here on registration, testing centers, and dates. If you, and this is on that list of helpful websites on your agenda. There you have the website, and here in Kearney, of course you have one, but if maybe you're not from here and you're going to be somewhere, there's some others. This is a video that we're going to watch. And this is a webinar that was one that they had saved on the site.
Hello, welcome to the Preparing to Take a Praxis Test webinar. This webinar is designed to assist test takers like you with how to best prepare for a Praxis test. We will cover topics such as what Praxis tests are, why it is important to prepare for them, how to use the Praxis website to gather information, how to find out what the tests cover, how to develop a study plan, and how to reduce test anxiety. We'll also provide test-taking tips and strategies. Let's start with what are the Praxis tests and how the Praxis tests are used. The Praxis series assessments comprise the Praxis Core and Praxis Subject tests. The Praxis Core tests assess a candidate's general academic skills in reading, writing, and mathematics. The Praxis Subject tests measure a candidate's subject-specific content knowledge, as well as general and subject-specific teaching skills to determine whether the candidate is ready to begin teaching. There are approximately 90 Praxis test titles available. Praxis tests are computer-delivered and offered in monthly testing windows, with the exception of a few titles that are offered continuously. Check the Praxis website to determine when your Praxis test is offered. The Praxis tests are used by many educator preparation programs as an admissions requirement and also by state agencies as a requirement for teacher licensure and certification. The passing score is established by the state licensing agency, the teacher education program, or by a national or professional organization that may use the test. Preparation is the key to success. When Praxis test takers were surveyed to see if they received the score they expected, 28% admitted they received a lower score than they expected and that they overestimated their preparedness. So we recommend that you do your best to prepare for your test. You can get ready for the Praxis test by allowing plenty of preparation time, developing a study plan to guide your efforts, and reviewing the practice materials for each test. Here are 4 easy steps to help you do that. Number 1, learn what the test covers. Number 2, assess how well you know the content. Number 3, collect materials to prepare. And number 4, prepare and practice. Let's begin with learn what the test covers. The Praxis website is the best place to start gathering information. The site provides you with all of the information you need, from state test requirements to how you will receive your score. There is even a Prepare for a Test section at www.ets.org/praxis/prepare, containing all the official resources to help you, including free and fee-based products for the test you are taking. You can search for your test prep materials either by test name or by test code. Once you select your test, you will see all the available resources to help you prepare. The first listing will be the Study Companion, which is a resource specific to your test title. Study Companions contain study materials designed to help you best prepare and include a Learn About Your Test section that outlines the test's blueprint. The Learn About Your Test section, hosted in the Study Companion, provides key information on timing, test structure and format, whether the test questions are selected response, constructed response, or a combination of both, the number and percentage of questions for each content category, and whether or not a calculator is permitted. The Learn About Your Test section provides information regarding categories of topics, along with subtopics with details of what will be covered. Pay close attention to the topics for each category, using them as a guide to help you focus. Identify key concepts relevant to each subtopic. Think about the content knowledge you would need to draw upon in order to answer questions on each topic. Study companions also include sample questions with answers and explanations. It is important to note that these illustrate the kinds of questions included in the test but are not representative of the entire scope of the test in either content or difficulty. Don't rely on the sample questions and answers as a complete practice test, but do read carefully through the explanations and analyze why a given answer is the best one. Remember that each study companion is specific to a test title with a specific numeric test code, so be sure to use the correct one. Assess how well you know the content. Once you have learned what the test covers, it's time to assess how well you know the content. The study plan template, available online at www.ets.org/praxis/prepare/study, is a great tool to help you keep track of your preparation process. Use the study plan to define the content areas that your test will cover by transferring the topic and subtopics listed in the Learn About Your Test section in the study companion to the study plan worksheet. Take note of topics or concepts with which you are not familiar and mark those areas for review. Rate yourself to determine your strengths and weaknesses in each content area to see what areas you know and what areas you need more study. After you have rated yourself, identify what resources you have available or need to find in order to review the content. Then create and commit to a schedule that provides for regular study periods. It's important to take time to prepare so you can avoid cramming for your test. This planning template shows you how to establish the right schedule and can help you stick to it. Now that you know what the test covers and what areas you need to review, it's time to start collecting materials to help you refresh your content knowledge. ETS offers low-cost test preparation materials such as interactive practice tests. Interactive practice tests are online full-length tests that include explanations for correct answers to help you practice with sample test questions. Be sure to visit the ETS store at www.ets.org/praxis/store to find test preparation materials available for your test. ETS also offers free test prep resources such as online videos and webinars with additional suggestions for how to prepare. We offer a test center video tour that shows you what to expect when you take a computer-delivered test, and a computer-delivered test demonstration so you can try out the different functions of the software used to administer these tests. For tests with an on-screen calculator, tutorials are available to familiarize you with its use. Be sure to review all of these videos and demonstrations on the Prepare for a Test section to get ready for test day. Remember to reference your college course work materials and check to see what resources are available at your library, such as school textbooks, K-12 student learning materials, and teacher's editions are good study aids and free resources to help you prepare. Now that you know what the test covers, what areas you need to review, and what resources are available, you are ready to begin preparing and practicing. Check the study plan template that you put in place and start making your study schedule. Set aside some time each day or week and commit yourself to using that time for study and review. Focus first on those areas that need the most attention, the areas you most need to brush up on. Then use the resources you identified to refresh your knowledge. If you are retaking a test, Review your score report to get insight into areas where you most need to strengthen your knowledge. Don't limit your study solely to any one area. Use a comprehensive approach and familiarize yourself with as much material as you can based on the content categories. Then, try to hone in on the areas where you know you need the most review. It may also help to consider collaborative study efforts, such as having a friend quiz you on particular categories, or talking with teachers or other content experts who may be able to share insights on key ideas and concepts. Review the sample questions provided in the study companion. Test yourself and get an understanding of the explanations for the correct answers. You can also use the sample questions to judge how much time you are spending on each question and figure out how to adjust your pacing so that you don't run out of time on your test. The study companions also include study topics. Reviewing these topics will help you refresh your knowledge of fundamental concepts and relate them to the materials covered on the test. For selected response questions, you only need to choose the correct answer or answers. You don't need to prove it or show how you reached the answer. Save valuable time by scanning answer choices before you read the question. This can help you use the process of elimination to narrow down answers and prevent you from taking too much time on any one question. And remember, not to leave any questions unanswered. You will not be penalized for wrong answers, so you should guess even if you are unsure of the correct answer. Only correct answers count toward your score. For constructed response questions, responses should be organized and logical and should provide key ideas with clarifying statements. It's important to plan before you write and to practice writing responses to assess your ability to explain the material accurately, completely, and clearly. Sample constructed response questions with responses are provided in the study companions. Use them to sharpen your skills and to time yourself. Remember to fully respond to the prompt and state your position clearly. ETS has provided you with strategies and tips to help you get ready and be confident on test day. So be sure to go into the test center prepared. Take a look at all the sections of the Praxis website at www.ets.org/praxis, especially the Prepare for Test section, and get familiar with all of the resources available to you. Remember, the key to success is preparation.
At this point, we're going to take a bit of a break. And we have pizza here. Jonah.
We have lots of pizza. So
you have all of these different areas that you can look at where there's interactive practice tests, strategy and tips, developing the study plan, the test prep webinars, and then there's a video library. There's a drop down here where you can select it by name and by number. Now, when it comes to the test day, there's very little you're allowed to bring from when I was looking through this. You should arrive 30 minutes beforehand. You should be familiar with where you're going. Bring an ID, and they're very specific on what. You'll have a ticket. Some of the tests allow you to bring a calculator. Pretty much don't bring anything else. Don't bring your cell phone. Don't even bring a watch. Don't even bring a pencil. They will supply those. Don't bring scratch paper.
What kind of calculator?
On some of them, if it's allowed on the math, it's a very basic, from what I was able to determine. Is that correct?
No, it's
Ladies?
on the screen.
Oh, it's on the screen. Okay. Oh, then we got to get rid of that. So here, you can get into, and this is on that same Praxis website, where you will need to have all of these materials with you. And they talk about dressing appropriately, dress in layers because you never know how the room's going to be. Make sure you're there early. And if you scroll down here, important items to bring. Oh, here we go. They don't even want you to bring your own pencil. Here it was the part about the calculator, so that's something you guys can check out. The personal items, they don't want you to bring anything. In fact, if you wear eyeglasses, they even say they're going to inspect them. Don't bring really any jewelry unless it's a wedding or an engagement ring. And so they're very specific, so bring as minimal as you can. Your scores, that's always what we're most interested in. And so over here, there's all these different parts on the Praxis website where you can get your scores, sending your scores, understanding them, and all of that. You can click on any of these areas. It does tell you that the scores are available online 10 to 16 days, business days, after your testing window closes. So you do have to wait a little bit of time. Now, there are some facts, and that is in that website as well. And one of the main things that most of us want to know is, well, how long am I going to be there? How much is this going to cost me? If it's the reading, it's basically an hour and a half, $90. The writing is a little over an hour and a half, $90. Mathematics, about an hour and a half, $90. From my understanding, you can take the three as a combined, and it's 5 hours, and it's a $150. Cheaper than taking them separately. So within this area are all the other things that you can look up regarding frequently asked questions. There's a lot in here. How do you register? What happens if I forget my username and password? How do I cancel my registration and get a refund? And then it's within this area where you can register. There's some other links in there. So this is all in your helpful websites list. Test anxiety. We're going to watch this little video clip. and then we'll talk about it.
No matter how prepared you are for an exam, you can't help but feel some anxiety, you know, like the butterflies in your stomach and potentially forgetting everything.
Feeling some anxiety is normal as your body releases adrenaline in times of stress, which actually triggers your fight or flight response.
So here are some scientific tips to help you beat that exam anxiety.
Exam anxiety is an epidemic among students worldwide. One study found that out of 1,300 people questioned, 96% say that they have experienced exam anxiety at some point in their lives. And this is a problem because another study found that students who were deemed highly anxious performed 12% worse on exams than those who were slightly anxious or not anxious at all.
Exam anxiety, like all anxieties, is a spectrum, meaning that there's all sorts of symptoms and varying levels of feelings. Some people may just feel their heart beating a little bit, while others are completely debilitated with nausea and vomiting before every exam.
Getting at least 6 hours of sleep is crucial before an exam. Making sure that you are well rested will give you the confidence to face the challenge at hand. Pulling an all-nighter is a huge no-no when it comes to your brain having the ability to succeed. Mitch, you can see Nikki sleeping Miley. Are you going to sleep?
I need a solid 6 hours before my exam. Studies have actually shown that those who have a balanced diet up to 1 week before an exam actually perform better than those who have a high meat or high protein diet.
I have seriously been studying so much, it's like eat, sleep, glycolysis.
Oh, here's your lunch, by the way.
Oh, thanks. What's glucose?
In fact, it's best to have a breakfast that's high in fiber and high in carbohydrates so that the energy is released slowly and your brain doesn't crash mid-exam. Losing energy quickly means losing your concentration, which means you might start to panic when you can't even answer the easy questions.
Name. What's my name? Oh God, what's the date? Positive self-imagery has been known to boost confidence and lower exam anxiety, but it only works if you set yourself realistic goals.
I will get at least an 80% on this exam, I will not fart during the test, and I'll have a banana for lunch.
Now, we are not telling you to lower your expectations, but it is not mentally healthy to expect 100% on all of your exams. So, while feeling confident before an exam is important, it's essential that you keep your feet planted on the ground.
To help de-stress, try and picture yourself in a happy moment, whatever that might be, and then quickly switch to imagining yourself in the exam room.
I'm on a boat with whales around me, humpbacks, fin whales, heck, there's even a blue whale. One comes up to me and lets me pet it, then he playfully splashes me and winks. He loves me and I am one with him. Also, glycine, alanine, valine, and leucine are all nonpolar acids, and this is how you draw them in an exam.
This helps your brain to associate those happy feelings with writing the exam and primes you to be ready. In addition, before the exam, try and picture questions that you have already studied the answers to so that it will boost your confidence going in.
Speaking of priming, it's important that you familiarize yourself with the exam room. If the exam room isn't your classroom, make sure you take a short field trip there a few days before. This will also ensure you aren't late. By seeing the setting beforehand, it will help your brain be at ease during the exam, helping you feel more confident and perform better.
Well, hopefully you have a good circle of friends and study buddies you can work with. There's always that one Debbie Downer in the group that kind of lowers your self-confidence. This, combined with your past experience on exams, which might not have always been good, can lower your self-confidence moving into the exam. A helpful trick is to write down these insecurities on a piece of paper, and then right below them, write down a rebuttal, which makes you feel confident, then crumple up that paper and throw it away. People say I have a bad memory, but I have never forgotten somebody's birthday.
This can help you build confidence before a test, and these symbolic gestures are actually effective. One study found that anxious students who wrote down their worries before a test did better than those who didn't.
Hopefully these scientific tips will help you go into your exam with confidence, feeling much less anxious.
And unlike most trends, science is logical and never ends. Science never goes out of style.
T-shirt. If you like the t-shirts we were wearing today, which say science never goes out of style, the beautiful.
Okay, I'm going to stop it there because they want you to buy their t-shirts. So, how do we study? When do you guys prefer to study?
Alone when nobody's home.
Alone when nobody's home.
I like to do it like later in the evening.
You're a night owl then.
Yeah.
There you go. Any other night owls? No. Early morning people? Yep, early morning. whenever we can fit it in, maybe? Okay. Is there a particular strategy you use that's worked for you?
Well, if it works, that wouldn't be. I read it and I write it.
Okay. Do any of you take your notes and rewrite them? Not just the materials, maybe in your text. Okay. Any flashcard people? Flashcards, yep. Does anybody try figuring out what they're going to test on so you write questions? Like you're writing the test? That might help you. So, do you study with anybody? Or just by yourself? Tracy's by herself, right? By yourself? Okay. Why do we study? Whole 7 of you came tonight.
To learn the material.
To learn it. Okay. Remember it. And so some of you have some different strategies, and some things work well for you, some things maybe not. And so you just have to try to figure out what works for you. So those of you that were here for the first dice roll, we're going to do another one. Okay, so hopefully we don't get 3, or we're going to have to do it again. Oh, number 6. Okay, everyone. If you found a magic lantern and a genie gave you 3 wishes, what would you wish for? I know what one of yours is already. What you were talking about earlier.
For the legislation to pass a new composite score, yes.
There you go.
Tomorrow would be great.
Okay. Tomorrow, so
I had 3 wishes.
3 wishes.
Debt-free.
Debt-free, yes.
Done with my education. And to own a beach house.
Ooh, a beach house.
Wow.
Any beach in particular?
Anna Maria Island in Florida.
Boy, she has it all picked out. There you go.
Have you been there? Oh, you do? Anna Maria, we went there this summer, and my boyfriend's family, they go every like 4 years to that place. It's beautiful. If you ever guys want a vacation.
So how many
And
of
it's in
you
the country.
debt-free? Yep, I think that would be on everybody's list. Okay, what about you?
Can I have more wishes?
Oh, she just wants more wishes, okay? Okay.
Let's see. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe just more money in general.
So not just debt-free, but more money too. There you go.
Yeah.
You're all going into education. Yes, you got to keep your humor.
New car.
A new car. That would go along with debt-free, more money. New car, beach house. There you go.
No longer disabled.
No longer disabled. That's a good one. Okay. So everybody shared it. Let's see. Did you share? No.
I mean, I would probably wish to like have a happy, healthy family someday.
That's good.
Pass the math part.
There you go. Pass the math part. And did you have another one in addition to the legislature?
No, it's too deep, but
Too deep?
too
Okay.
deep.
Too deep. Okay. So mine would definitely be in there, the debt-free, money, happiness, healthy. And as you go through your life, I would actually ask for time. Some more time. It seems like time goes by too fast. Okay, so in the video, they talked about pacing yourself. Really, if you're going to be taking something big like the Praxis, don't cram the night before. And I've talked to some people that studied a lot, talked to some that never studied. And so it really, you know, and they all did well. So before the test, you need to have positive thoughts, confidence. When you are approaching that fear, you need to just let it go. Like that Frozen song, let it go, let it go. Get support. Maybe you have a study group. Maybe call someone where they can kind of calm you down. Practice relaxing, you know, I can do it. 4 more days. So before the test, they talked about getting plenty of rest. And when I was much younger, we didn't have these things to contend with, but we really need to put all the electronics aside. Television, radio, MP3 player, cell phone, computers, any games. Put those away. Not your alarm clock, of course. And let your body rest and your brain because it needs it. Eat a healthy breakfast, hydrate, and that will give you the fuel so you can function. Wear comfortable clothes. You're not going to a job interview. Wear something that you're going to be comfortable with and think positive. I can do it. Pace yourself. Don't try to be the first one done. Trust yourself. You've passed tests before. This is just another test. Celebrate because you've made it this far. And believe in yourself. So we're going to do another roll of the dice. Number 1. Okay. If you could go anywhere in the world, where would you go? Let's see here. I'll start where I ended last time. Where would you go?
Australia.
Australia. Okay.
If I'm gonna own my beach house,
Yeah.
I'll go to like England or
England.
somewhere around there.
Okay.
I would say Alaska.
Alaska. Summer, winter.
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 Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna dress warmly.
Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Paris or Italy.
Paris. Italy.
Hawaii is fine.
Hawaii.
I was gonna say go back to Hawaii.
Oh, you've been there before
Yeah, I
then.
have.
Okay. For me, it'd probably be a toss-up, but I spent a year when I was young and dumb, got an insurance settlement from a car wreck, went to school in Denmark, and had enough money to take care of everything. But, you know, you're young and dumb. And I just went there, went to college there, and had a blast. And I think that would be cool to go back. Okay, so let's go back here. So, leading up to this, I asked a lot of people, because for those of you that were not here at the beginning, even though I look like a teenager, I know, I never took the Praxis. Back then it was the CAT test, California Achievement Test, which is what they gave high school students that wanted to get out early. And then they went to something else. So I'm too old to take it, but the people I talked to, and I talked to 2 student teachers that are at Lexington right now. I talked to some of my former students that took it. I talked to some middle school teachers and high school, elementary. So probably about 15 people. Most of them said easier than the ACT. So all of you took the ACT, right? Right? Okay, long time, but that's okay. You took it and you survived, right? Yeah. You're here. You're fine. Okay. Actually, it was 2 people told me they studied more for math because it was their weakest area. And those people told me they got into study groups and they utilized the campus tutoring at the college. One person, he told me that he went to the writing center for writing help. Not because he doesn't have ideas, he just has too many and he can't figure out how to put them on paper. One took a practice test before the real test, and she was really glad she did that. And there are practice tests that you can get. They might cost you some. Your advisors might be able to help you get that. One studied for about a month in a study group, and they helped each other with strengths. Someone was really good with math, someone was really good with writing, and they just worked through everything. So nobody I talked to told me that they nearly died. They all said it was easy, pretty much. They didn't seem to think it was that big of a deal. I'm not saying don't approach it that it is something serious, but don't let it rule your life and your emotions and everything. It's just one of those hoops you have to jump through. So you'll be fine. Don't get all stressed. Okay, we're going to have a break for 10 minutes. And when you're going into teaching, you have to have crazy things that the kids like to see. And so you can have timers go on. So we're going to have a timer. And you guys can get up, use the restroom, get more pizza, cookies, whatever you need, okay? So we have 10 minutes. Make that a little bit bigger. You're going to try, there we go.
So it's like grammar too.
And then the second portion is where you decide where the sentence goes in the paragraph or rewording. There's a tiny little part right there. And then if you want to
Well, there went our 10 minutes, just like that. So now that I've gone over where you can...
Vimeo changed my life. I had this constant need to film, make these creations, and share them.
Apologize for that. Not using my own computer. Okay, everyone. So now that we went over how you can find some information online, some test anxiety, we're going to move right in to one of the core skills tests, and that being writing. And yep. So as you can see on the screen, this test is 100 minutes divided into a 40-minute selected response section, 2 30-minute essays. This is the green packet in your folder, by the way. So you have selected response. That involves usage, sentence correction, revision, research skills, and then you have 2 essay topics. And so you have 2 different parts. You have 6 to 12 selected response, 2 essay, 28 to 34 selected response. Now the topics, we're going to skip right to page 6, so go over to the next page. A lot of this you can read on your own. So the topics covered, it tells you representative descriptions of topics covered in each category are provided below. So there's writing arguments, produce an argumentative essay to support a claim using relevant and sufficient evidence. Write clearly and coherently. Address the assigned task appropriately for an audience of educated adults. Organize and develop ideas logically, making coherent connections between them. Provide and sustain a clear focus or thesis. Use supporting reasons, examples, details to develop clearly and logically the ideas presented. Demonstrate facility in the use of language and the ability to use a variety of sentence structures. Construct effective sentences that are generally free of errors in standard written English. So that was the argumentative. And when I looked over these, some of the same things are repeated, so I'm not going to read through everything. The other type would be writing informative explanatory text. So that's just telling someone about something. Argumentative, you would have 2 sides. And then the text production, revision, develop and strengthen writing as needed by revising and editing. Be able to recognize a passage that can be strengthened through editing and revision. Part 2, the language skills, you have to be able to recognize the use of different parts of speech, appropriate and inappropriate, being able to find errors. You need to understand structural relationships where, for example, you have errors in run-ons or parts of speech. Word choice. Recognize and correct errors in the wrong word usage or redundancy. And then being able to recognize sentences that have no errors. Then in part 2, you have demonstrate command of convention, standard English, capitalization, punctuation. Being able to find things that are errors, things that are clearly not a problem. And then research skills, recognize and apply appropriate research skills and strategies being able to access credible and relevance of sources, and such. So let's go right into some practice. So these are some practice questions, and these are taken from screenshots. And so starting on page 13, you see the club members agreed that each would contribute 10 days of volunteer work annually each year at the local hospital. And then it says no error. And you had to click where you think it went. If you go over to page 14, you can see that the choice that was clicked, the phrase annually each year, is redundant, since annually and each year convey the same information. So that's why that was clicked. Going on to the next example. For a writer, the rarest privilege is not merely to describe her country and time, but to help shape it. So they clicked on it. Probably you had an English teacher at one point, never end a sentence with it, and that's why that was clicked. Also, it incorrectly is being referred to it as either country or time, so it's unclear. On 3, the school magazine will print those who win prizes for poetry, short stories, drama, nonfiction, however, will not be accepted for publication, no error. And if you look down at the bottom of page 16, those who win was what was highlighted as the error. And so there's several that are like this, and we could go through them all, but I just wanted you to get the idea of that. So then let's go to over to page 22, please. So on some parts, you will have to read a passage and then from that be able to answer questions. And so there is a passage off to the left. They ask you a question. You have to click on it. If you go to the back there, you will see what the correct answer would have been. And so there's a variety there. And so then let's go to page 29. Page 29 is the sample test question for an argumentative essay. And there is a scoring guide, and this is where it's very important to know the scoring guide. And when you're practicing for the writing, it is a good idea that if you don't know about the 6 traits of writing, and I would imagine by now you do, but there is a link here. And so this is the main parts, and then it goes into a whole explanation. This is something that you can Google if you are unfamiliar with this, and that can help you. So let me go back here. So with this, you have a scoring guide, and it tells you how you can get a 6, a 5, a 4, going over to page 30, a 3, a 2, and a 1. Probably want to avoid that second page. So here is an example on the next page, on page 31. So on the computer screen, it said minimum wage jobs are a ticket to nowhere. They're boring and repetitive and teach employees little or nothing of value. Minimum wage employers take advantage of people because they need a job. So you have to discuss the extent to which you agree or disagree with this opinion. Support your views with specific reasons and examples from your own experience, observations, or reading. And so what I'm going to have you do at your tables is you will see on page 31 there is a sample essay that received a score of 6. On page 32 that continues with some comments. You go to page 33, there is a score of 5. Then you have one with scores of 2. So they don't have them for all of them. But that'll give you an idea. So I would like you to read, work in your groups, and read through what a 6 sounds like, what it looks like. What does it have that the 5 doesn't? Definitely you're going to see difference between the 5 and 6 and the 2. Make sense? And so write on these if you need to and discuss amongst yourself, okay? And so we're going to do this for 15 minutes, and I have a timer for that. the citation machine, so that's something you guys can look at later. And I think if you just write down citationmachine.net, that would work. And then this second one, did everybody get that written down that needed it? Okay.
There's another one, Son of Citation Machine.
And then Purdue OWL is this other one. And that is owlenglish.purdue.edu. Well, thank you for helping us with that. Okay, so going back to this was something, if you are having problems with writing, right here on campus, you do have a writing center, and they tell you that they have free, friendly, face-to-face and online assistance, appointments of 30 or 60 minutes year-round. They do have a late policy, so arrive on time. If you're more than 10 minutes late, we allow other students to use your time. Please have a professor fill out a permission form for any take-home exams. Students may schedule 2 hours of tutoring per week. Students wanting additional hours must speak to the director. And this is, the contact info here is at the Ryan Library, 2nd floor, Suite 223. And here you can schedule an appointment. They have a schedule. And then there's also e-tutoring. So does anybody have any questions about that?
So if we like go and ask them, like you think, how do we ask them to help us practice? Yeah, I think they have practice writing tutors.
Mm-hmm. When I called them, they said that you can contact them by phone or in person. That's about as much information as I got from them.
And so that's like their way. So I would recommend calling because every time I call, like nothing against, but we have some of like the students. So high school call them. I'm sorry, I'm terrible, but I couldn't understand, and I thought I had an appointment, and I didn't, and I was really confused, and then I was embarrassed. So I would just like personally go, but they're there till like till the library, 3rd floor.
Mm-hmm.
And right as you like come around the corner, there's like a huge desk.
Okay. So we have okay, I think that we might have missed our 3rd roll of the dice. So we're going to be doing 2 rolls of the dice because I believe we missed one. Did we miss one? I believe. So number 2, if you were stranded on a desert island, 3 things you would take with you. I'm on number 2.
My kids.
Your kids. There you go.
My animals.
Your animals. What kind of animals? 2 dogs, 2 cats.
Maybe a knife, some rope, and a pot. So then I can like boil water when I get my fire started. I don't know how I'm gonna do. Maybe some matches.
Matches instead of maybe something. Okay.
I won't bring the pot. I'll bring some matches.
Okay. She apparently maybe watches Survivor.
Yeah. I think probably my baby blanket. I know I'm like 20 years old.
That's okay.
Still sleep with it.
Okay.
My cat probably. I don't know what else.
Maybe your pepperoni pizza.
Yeah. I'd bring my boyfriend because he's pretty logical and he can build
Keep you
things
alive.
and he'd keep me alive pretty
There
much.
you go.
Our dog because he's a really good hunter. And shampoo, honestly.
Shampoo, there you go.
For sure.
Scrub, you know.
Here's my boyfriend, 'cause he like hunts and stuff, 'cause like I don't.
There you go.
My dog, and then like soap, I guess.
Soap, yep, there you go.
Curtis would have a complete.
I'm going with these girls because they have pizza and shampoo and soap. Then I take my family a water purifier.
Oh,
Good one.
Okay.
There you go.
Change clothes. I'll
Change
bring
of
it up
clothes.
for you guys.
There you go. Okay. So we got through the writing part, and folks, you're really going to have to probably spend some more time on that. The next one that we have is the reading. And the reading is the kind of the orange packet, fairly thick. It tells you here that it is 85 minutes in length, 56 selected response based on reading passages and statements. 17 to 22 or 35% of it is key ideas and details. 14 to 19 or about 30% craft, structure, and language skills. 17 to 22 is about 35% again, integration of knowledge and ideas. So if we look this up, open it up, and I'm going to just delve into some of the practice part. For example, let's just go to page 12. So you have a statement there, a passage. Marguerite Durer's achievement as a filmmaker was marked by refusal to become a professional of the cinema, with all that implies in terms of prestige, influence, financial backing, and even know-how. Although she made many films, she said that she knew very little about the technology of cinema, that she had no reason to learn any more. I want to remain where I am on the first grounds of cinema in the primitive zones. So the passage is primarily concerned with what? And so you pick one of those. And if you turn it over to page 13, and the correct answer describing the attitude of a particular filmmaker. Makes sense, right? If you go to on page 14, you'll see some of the passages do get longer. And so the same passage may have multiple questions. And so this one is about windmills and different types and their purposes. And you can see that there's several questions just from that. You can see this being on the computer. You see that scroll bar kind of in the middle area. So you would be scrolling up and down. And so there's several of those that you would click through. And the answers are on either the back or the next page. And so what I'm going to have you do is go to page, let me get to the part that I wanted you to get to. Go to page 30, please. And you can always go back if time permits. But work in your groups. And if at any time you guys want to switch it up and, you know, pair up differently, that's fine. But start with Alice Fletcher, the Margaret Mead of her day. Start there and start working through those. And if time permits, you can go back. Does anybody have any questions? So this is just helping you practice. One of the things with the reading, the more you read and Try to draw out those key ideas. If this is your area of struggle, the better you're going to be. So I'm going to allow 15 minutes for this. Here's my timer.
I know. I'll retake the test. We'll see you
Yep,
later.
see ya.
Good luck.
Thank you.
On here, you do have that tutoring center, so if you have questions. Now, when I called, and that could have been my problem, the only thing they told me is call or come in. And so they do have tutoring in different subjects. And when I talked to them, it seemed like that they would be helpful, but you would just have to go check it out because I'm not familiar with your resources here.
Okay, so question, to get the tutoring here on campus, you have to be a team member and.
No, that's through
Oh,
us.
through you guys to get tutoring.
I have no idea what Kearney offers for tutoring.
That's all we have to, okay, that's where I was really confused.
No,
Got it.
we provide tutors
Oh,
and instructional sessions. So some people do both. Some people just do the instructional session.
okay, that makes sense.
But the way we had to write the grant was that get the tutoring for free, you had to attend this.
Okay, okay, that makes sense. Okay, same thing if you were having trouble in class. Same tutoring center. Okay, that's what I thought, but I didn't know. No, and that's good that you asked.
And so I stopped the clock early. So roll of the die 5. If you could spend the day with one character, fictional or not, who would it be and why?
I would say Dr. Seuss.
Dr. Seuss. Very good.
Well, maybe Ariel from The Little Mermaid, because then we could go swimming.
There you go.
Mine would be George Strait, because then I would get my own personal concert.
There you go.
Love it. Who said that? That was good. And maybe he could teach me how to rope.
There you go. Fictional character. One character, fictional or not. So like anybody.
Taylor Swift?
Taylor Swift.
Mm-hmm.
You get your own personal concert too.
Belle from the Big Library.
Okay.
That's a movie.
Well, for me, it would probably be Snoopy. Because I love Snoopy and the Peanuts characters, so it'd be Snoopy. Okay, folks, we're going to move into the thing that you came here, your most favorite topic of all, and that is math. For the math, you have 150 minutes, 60 questions, and they range in different areas. You have algebra functions, even up into calculus, geometry, probability, statistics. So it really runs the gamut on there. And we have several questions through here. And so I'm going to give you some time, and I want you to just go through them the best you can. I do have an answer sheet. Okay? So it's not like you're just solving questions and, like you said, you don't know if you got them right or what you did. And so just start on page 13 with the Venn diagram. And we'll work about 15 minutes or so. I'll put the timer up, and you folks can work through these. this is where, yeah, I want to go here. If you go to Khan Academy, and the Praxis site has a PDF of a lot of things here. It's trying to load here. Okay. So folks, if you, and this is on your helpful websites, you can scroll through this and you can click on these and it will take you to, if you're having trouble with ratios or if you're having trouble with fractions, all you have to do is click on that and it'll take you to another site. You can also Google and watch those Khan Academy videos. And that started the Khan Academy from a guy who was trying to tutor his niece, and everybody started watching his YouTube videos, and they're very good. So we're going to do our last roll here because things, bless you, things seem to have died on my PowerPoint. So did we already do 2? Yes, we did. 6. We haven't done 4. Okay, let's do 4. Okay, if you won $1 million, first thing you would do?
Pay off my
Pay off your debt from school.
I actually might donate some of it to like a church or something.
There you go. Weren't you the one that said health and all that?
No.
No. Oh no, you were the rope and the
Yeah.
and the pot and the knife.
Yep.
And matches when we went to the island.
I would have my house.
Your house.
I would buy land so I could have a bunch of cows.
I thought you were gonna buy the beach house.
Well, I will. I'll have my land, and I'll have my cows, and I'll have sheep.
Okay, and what would you get with your $1 million? A house. I think I'd pay off debt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the theme tonight, one of your wishes was more money and no debt, and then paying off debt, and you're all going into education.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of money. So now, Matt, my PowerPoint died. Oh, here it is. Perhaps. So, but I was clear at the end, guys. So oh, here we go. And so we're at the last slide, folks. Does anybody have any questions?
Can someone take the math portion for me?
I don't know. Probably not, because when they have you have that ID and everything.
When do you plan on taking it? Do you have scheduled it yet, or you think?
No.
When are you taking it? The 7th of March?
Can I still sign up for that? No, I can't.
It have to be like 21 days.
Well,
Okay.
I haven't taken mine.
I do have a question. So I have like super bad testing and stuff like that. Would you suggest taking the test separately or all at once for my first time?
I think, well, this is just me. I had never taken the Praxis. We had what was the PPST. I'm not going to tell you how long that was, but that would really date me. But
I'm before you.
Back to Matt. I didn't have to take any tests.
so we'll just leave that there. I would think there's some value in taking them separately. I realize it's probably gonna cost you a little bit more, but if you know that you only have to go in and do, 60 questions and it's gonna take an hour and a half, and it'll be done, and then I'm gonna go, take another few weeks and focus on just this section.
And that's
then,
kind of where I'm at.
I can see there's some value in that. On the flip side, I can see where, if you're feeling good about everything and you want to just, I can get it all done and be done in one afternoon or one evening, whatever it is. But for what you're saying, if you've got that built up stress and anxiety, breaking it down and knowing that there's not that much each time you go in there, I think there's some value in that. And what do we say? It's $90 per.
$90 per, or it's about 150 all three.
Half of it. All three of them.
See, but then like my thing is, I know that if I go in and take all three, I know I'll take it again. Which I'm not confident in myself.
Because if it's a chance, I'm gonna play devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
If you go in and do all three, there could be a chance that you have maybe two of them.
And then only take
Mhm.
90.
What I would recommend the first time, just go in with an open mind, like I'll pass what I pass, and when I don't, I don't, and then go like reevaluate. Because that's what I did the first time, and I fell asleep during the reading twice, and that was
Oh, no.
really, I'm not even kidding you, and that was my best score. So there's fun fact about Kylie. And so then the second time I took them all through again, which I probably should have taken them separately, but I passed my reading. I was like, okay, now I only have 2 more to focus on.
So you're a sleep scholar.
So you were able to answer via osmosis.
Look at it.
Well, if I would have passed the whole thing while sleeping, that would have been beneficial, but I clearly did not pass any of them. Don't, also, if you're not a morning person, don't take them at 8 o'clock. My problem is I had to drive an hour and a half here to take it.
Can you take it somewhere else? See, this is the other thing. This is just what I've heard from students. I don't, that some places, it's, for some reason, some environments are less stressful.
Yeah, I think that's what I
Yeah, you were saying northeast.
Yeah, which is
said that
way
about
far,
York.
but.
And I know nothing about York. No, I'm saying that people were very positive about it, that it was a lot less stressful than doing it here. Why that is, I have no idea.
Sometimes, like, different colleges, they have just Praxis testing at that time. Where our testing center, we have several different, so everyone's at a different pace, and like people walk in and out, and that to me is way too distracting.
Do you have just certain days that you can take the Praxis test? Or
Here
can
you
you
can
take
take it every day, but certain times. But
Mhm.
different places you can only take it certain days.
And then how long do they make you wait between them?
21 days, right? Yeah.
But you said here they were very picky about what you wore. You couldn't wear something that zipped up. But you could wear a sweater. You couldn't wear that zip up. Mm-hmm.
So can you wear the hoodies?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah,
Just, like, they make you take your hood like up. They search your store stuff.
And you had said something that the elastic band on your hair, they were certain you had all the answers for all parts of the praxis.
Because wouldn't you know if I'm taking my ponytail out and looking at it every
No,
30
I'm just,
seconds?
because I can see the rubber band and I see that you got all the answers.
It's just
Yeah.
sort of.
And you said the Northeast had the stress balls?
Yeah. The lady, she gave me stress balls, but
When you say northeast, are you saying?
community college
Mm-hmm.
in Norfolk, yeah.
So, yeah, you're not, I showed you that part where, yes, you have a testing center here, but there's a lot around.
Yeah.
You know, maybe you want to take a road trip.
I don't know anything
I don't think it's
No.
the closest are like here in the New York, I think is.
Oh,
Because I'm
okay.
from Grand Island.
Right, okay.
So if you're from Grand Island, what is that close?
No.
Kearney's
York is
closer.
way, like,
Yeah, it's closer to Lincoln than it is. Grand Island.
Does Central Community College have a testing center?
No.
No.
Okay.
I know that we're doing one down in Hastings. I want a Hastings test.
I think they do.
Or is that only just for?
I haven't heard, because I mean, when I was actually in Glenn Tracy's class, and that's when I like learned about the testing centers, and they always told me that this was the closest one here. And like my dad had to take a big test, and he came here to take it. I don't know.
So those of you that have never taken it, are you planning to take it together or separate? All together?
I've already taken, so I passed the writing, so.
Okay.
Have the other two to do, so.
So you know, yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, when I was in Florida and I had to get my teaching certificates because they didn't accept New Jersey teaching certificates. So I had to do all of my testing, and Florida has its own country, its own little way of doing things. And I had to take my social studies and my special education and, you know, all that math I could not pass alone. And I took it 3 times. And finally I went to the school I was working in, had a cafetorium, whatever the heck it is, because it's cafeteria, it's everything. And so we had a math teacher there who had about 200 of us in the group to talk about testing. And I wound up taking a practice at a college called Southern, and I was the only person in the room. And I thought I was going to be really stressed out.
I feel like being in this room by yourself, I wouldn't be as distracted.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I was a little freaked out. Yeah. My daughter was little and she was about 7. She was playing in the building, like right on that floor, and I was in there taking the test, but I went in there and took it and I passed the thing. And it was just like, wow, I was the only person in the room. Yeah. So that was kind of nice, and I think it was like on a weekend, like off time or something. That was probably the most relaxed I ever was for a test. Yeah.
I get nervous with other people, and they're like they're doing a different test, and it feels like I'm like behind because they're typing, and but I have to like remind myself.
So did you say that those earphones work?
Yeah. They do for me at least, but.
Are they just noise blocking your?
Yeah, and I'm fidgety, so the earplugs they give you, that would really help me.
Now, do they give them to you, or can you bring your own?
No,
Or
they give
have
them
like
to
the
you.
answers in your own.
You could have answers in the earplugs.
Yeah.
I just don't have enough time. Like, who has enough time to like cheat on a prep? Like, I don't have time.
You know what's sad though, is it would only take one person to try and do it for you guys and everybody else to suffer for it.
I'm
And
sure
that's why,
we
and that's
have to.
probably what happened, you know.
And that's why they even mentioned the eyeglasses. They'll look at your eyeglasses. So apparently, well, they have those ones that are like a computer or whatever. Yeah. Yeah, like a college student could probably afford that, but you know. I don't know if you have anything more, Matt, or if anybody has any.
Good luck on the test.
Good luck.
Yeah, thank you so much.
And if you mark down tutor, we will put that in the database. And touch with you. So.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you
Yeah.
guys so much.
Take care and drive safely.
And you must take pizza that is required.
Yeah.
Take some